Hey guys, third fan of the night.
Third fan of the night. Third fan of the night.
Is there a reason why you don't say it together?
I don't like trying to talk over Pete, but...
I feel like it's better as a chorus.
Okay.
It's harmony.
Okay.
Also, Andy Worley really wants us to have some sort of drum rim shot or accent when we do that. So whenever we get a drum kit here, you got to be on the drums when we do that. Mm-hmm. So it'd be like, I don't know what he's envisioning. I don't know if it's like last fan of the night, ba-dum ching, or if he means like last fan of the night. I don't know what he wants. We'll have to get him here, but and he can direct it, but he wants there to be drum accompaniment to that. So we got to make that happen. You know any drummers, Pete? No. But you know anybody that likes drums?
Well, there's tons, but...
So for more of me giving Pete a hard time and Rick kind of, cheering on until I turn on him, go to patreon.com/dspiffy for more great content like this. So this fan is, we forgot to look at it before we put it up there, and the control doesn't actually say, but it's got the star logo. If anybody wants to show the control in the video, they can. It doesn't say anything on the back either.
I'll look in a second. No, it just says 48-inch on the back.
I'll try to remember when we pull it down to
That
look and
logo
see.
is definitely...
So does that show up?
That's the Golden Pen logo?
Yeah.
Hey, while we're thinking about it, where's that 36-inch gold line?
Well, I already took it up.
Check and see what it says on it, because we were supposed to say that in the last video.
Okay.
So, this is, we believe, a Golden fan. Now, my running theory, because we've been told they were the same company, it sure seems like they were an OEM, because nobody else made stuff even remotely like theirs.
I always thought the OEM was View Fan.
Interesting.
Oh, that...
This is indeed a Montgomery Ward.
Now, that's very strange.
Yes.
Okay, good to know.
Well,
That is very bizarre, yeah.
Good. I was expecting it to either say Union or EnviroFan. Well, there's two theories. One is they were ordered separately by the same warehouse. Why a warehouse would be ordering from Montgomery Ward, I don't know. But maybe like somebody brought it from home. I don't know. The other theory is that they ordered a 36-inch gold line, and Union put in the box a fan destined for Montgomery Ward, because we know Union didn't give a shit. So those are all possibilities.
There's a lot of those strange things.
Yeah, only to be a fly on the wall. A lot of cocaine too, although I don't know if that was in the import fan area. Definitely the American fan era.
I was gonna say in the '80s American side, yes, that one.
Oh, I thought we were gonna get the Mad Cruncher, but instead he found a mini cupcake.
Oh,
So
yeah, these are good.
those were for Justin's birthday on Wednesday.
These are really good.
Anyhow, so yeah, the actual name of the company was ViewFan, but here's what I think. I think it was one of those things like Union and Evergo where kind of the name changed over the years, because, and I might be mixing this up, so go to my Workbench video where I talk about this more, and I'll get the details right there because I have notes. But I think it was Golden Fan for years. They were incorporated, I think, in '73, and I think they were like Golden Fan from like '73 to, I'm guessing at the year, '79. And then they were New Fan from like '79 to '85. And we know what happened in '85. In '85, they moved their production from Hong Kong to mainland China, because that was the first year that you could have privately owned production in mainland China. We know that China is a communist country and most of the business is supposed to be owned by the state. That's a whole nother conversation. But starting in 1985, China started allowing privately owned factories to operate on their soil. So a lot of companies that would otherwise have been in China but weren't because of, that, moved to China in '85. And so pretty much all the fan companies moved their factories to China in '85, '86, '87, including Wingtat, SMC, everybody, even all the Hong Kong-based companies eventually transitioned to China because
I think SMC hung on until about '87 or so, because I feel like when they went to the black motor, that's when they usually
when they moved production.
Yeah, and then also with ViewFan, I thought you were saying like Moss put them out of business. Buying up for the Moss Tropical Breeze.
I know what I remember. Again, if you want the correct story, go to my Workbench video, because I took notes that came from these guys, and right now I'm going off the top of my head, so I could be remembering wrong. Well, David Moss has been dead since the '90s, but me and Adam got to talk to one of his guys, one of his executives. I can't remember his name.
Oh,
was he one who popped up on VCF?
Yeah,
I bet,
it was on VCF. In fact, you can still find the threads on VCF where we asked him questions. And Adam later compiled it into a couple pages on VCF, and embellished a little bit, but that's another story. But that guy was very nice. But I mean, he's the only pro David Moss person I've ever met.
Was he related to him? Or?
No, he was just one of his business partners.
Right.
But he eventually got forced out by David Moss, like everybody else, until David Moss got forced out. You know, you play hardball, sometimes you get hit in the head. But what was I going to say is, so I know Moss, one of the guys from Moss and one of the guys from View Fan, New Fan, Golden Fan, whatever the parent company was called, actually was set up the factory together in China, and I believe it was the first factory to move from Hong Kong to mainland China. And I believe that's when they...
General or fan? Just
Fan. Could it be in general too? I don't know. I've only researched fan. I haven't researched anything else. Other than Yamaha, which makes the greatest pianos and motorcycles, drum sets, and mixing boards.
Jet skis.
Jet ski.
I got to drive a Yamaha jet ski once.
It's just a running joke among musicians that Yamaha makes such weird combinations of things. And it's all great. I mean, you'd play Yamaha drums. I mean, not your favorite, but you'd play them.
No, I don't play those. I don't own a set.
You would, though, is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
They made an engine for Ford in the late 90s.
Yeah, I have a few Yamaha guitars. Their electrics are not my favorite, but they're not bad. Anyhow, different conversation. Pete was looking at me real funny. I wasn't trying to say you owned Yamaha drums. I'm just saying if you had backline and somebody showed up with a good set of Yamaha drums, you'd be okay. Because they're not bad drums.
It's a Golden Fan.
Golden Fan is, so this is, if my memory is correct, then this would be the earliest incarnation of that company. Before they, because again, my memory says Golden Fan, New Fan, View Fan, in terms of what the fans were labeled versus the timeline.
It had to be around like 79 or 80 or so when they...
I can look, but not when my phone's filming, because it'd be in my phone.
Well,
Okay, well, anyhow, this is one of the rare versions with no nut on the bottom and metal blades. These turn up a lot more often with the nut on the bottom and wood blades. I like them better in metal than wood, I think. What about you guys?
I definitely on these wood blade for me just because I've seen a lot more of them.
Yeah,
I have one actually.
I can't forget there's that kid that posts about a dry cleaners with one of these in wood blades, 3 wood blades.
Oh, Alex?
Right, yeah.
Yes, Alex.
Alex Dufault, maybe? I can't remember his last name.
I met him. We met.
Oh, I've never met him, but he messages me on Facebook every so often. He's a very nice kid.
He is, well, yeah, we actually do know each other.
That's good. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
But anyhow, yeah, he wants the 3 wood bladed version of
He's
this.
trying to get it, and they just won't sell it.
Oh, I know that story.
Okay, so you do.
Well, I'm saying there's fans right now I'm trying to get that the people won't sell, and I just wave the cash in their face. Take the money, like the guy from Futurama.
Shut up and take the
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, my favorite is the 4 metal blades for sure. And then
there's a few different ones, like the curved.
Yep. Any variation though. Any variation.
But I just found it cool, just because I don't see very.
Exactly.
How about the switch housing?
Yeah.
That does exist.
Oh yes.
With metal blades?
No, with wood blades. Like 4 wood blades and switch housing.
The Moss Tropical Breeze version?
There's a couple of them in my storage.
Yeah, we got a few of those.
I've seen them on VCF. I don't know what they're like.
Probably.
Yeah, I got a couple of polished brass K-blade ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have an antique brass one too that we tested that has some factory defects. I think it was slow no matter what we did.
Oh yeah.
We changed the capacitor. We checked the bearings. It just was slow.
These are really well made fans for the most part.
Yeah, and then this particular one, if it was brown and 56-inch, there's another store chain that I know these for being installed at.
Stein?
Yes, he doesn't know Stein Gardens and Gifts.
We should take him to a Stein.
They're in the Milwaukee area.
Okay.
I took Mark Wilson to one.
I thought you said your mom liked Stein.
Stein Mart.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
this is-
Stein Mart and then Stein Gardens and Gifts are 2 different chains.
Yeah, there's
I got enough
it's
Stein.
Stein Gardens and Gifts. It's like a
It's like an
Gardens-
outdoorsy,
yeah, like
indoorsy, outdoorsy flowers, that sort of
and
thing.
yard
Plants.
decor.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I go there for like grilling equipment, like say
Yeah.
charcoal.
And
or
to see
like
the fans.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
And-
actually, my Stein, the one that's by me, is
Yeah.
newer built, so it doesn't have these.
But it's still got fans, though. All their locations have
They
fans.
do. They got Contex.
Not bad.
That's not.
But
that's
remember,
not-
mine was built. The one by me was
Yeah.
built later. Like
I think the worst fans I've ever seen in one have been like flower pot Dayton's, Day Turds.
Which even
I've
that's
seen
not
them
fair.
replace new fans with those.
Yeah.
Or with those.
Rick or
best-
Sheep?
That was sheep, for sure.
Sounded like Rick. Well, okay, somebody hit the high switch. Oh no, we got the factory controller.
Yeah, I showed it.
Oh, yeah.
So let's hit the
So
low.
let's
Start with the
hold
factory
it up.
controller on low.
I did it already.
We can do it again. Do we want to test the speeds on all the factory speeds or just on high
Oh.
with the tacker? Just high is fine with me, unless you guys.
Is that low?
Hold on. What's a drawing? What's a drawing?
0.4.
0.4.
That's a surprisingly
It's surprisingly good low. Now, one thing I will say is that sometimes on high these are slow, golden new fans. Sometimes they're not. And I don't, again, like Union, I don't know how to tell the difference. Like, we've had some that no matter what we did were just sluggish and just didn't
Like
really.
Before in the loft install, I
The
had
48-inch wood blade one I have flies on high, so that.
And then, well, there's the 56-inch 4-blade one upstairs that came out of the dry cleaner. Speaking of dry
That's a
cleaners,
gold one.
that one
Gold.
fucking flies. That one beats
It does.
gold lines and SMCs in airflow, and that's
It
hard to
does.
do.
And here's the thing about those, like you said, I saw your video on
Yeah.
them. I couldn't be out there, but you said like the lady up there at the dry cleaner
Yeah.
said, yeah, they don't work. And you're like, they don't work, huh? You take them and
Yeah, two
they-
of the three worked.
two of the,
Yep.
and what was wrong with the one that didn't?
One of the wires inside the motor, right where they connect to the windings, like the little tiny thin copper wires,
Yeah.
was not connected. So it was clear it had come like that from the factory. So it had clearly never worked, even when they first installed it.
And you
Which
were able to fix that.
I was able to fix it. I soldered it on. But it raises the question, when they first hung it, they didn't test it to see if it worked?
That's, yeah.
Okay, let's speed to 4.
That's a really good load for
Okay,
one.
well, let's do power factor.
Oh, sure, let's do
Watts. I forgot about watts.
low power factor.
Yeah, that is a low power factor. Yeah, 0.42 for. Okay, this was speed 5, which is the slowest, and that is definitely a really
Not a
nice
bad
That's
speed.
really good.
for this kind of
For a
control.
truck, yeah, absolutely.
Here's speed 4. Next. Speed
For a metal bladed fan, like an industrial, and for a choke control, that's a good.
Yeah,
That-
really
yeah, that's
good.
rare.
That's impressive, yeah.
This was a nice find, actually. I can't remember what, I think I told one of you guys earlier that I didn't actually know what I was. This is one of the things I bought without knowing what I was getting. The picture of it just showed the motor and canopies, and I was like, oh, that's a cast view fan motor. So
Whatever.
and it was like $10,
Yeah.
and it was close enough that I could use speedy delivery. I don't know if you guys know about speedy delivery.
No.
It's a shipping service that's Wisconsin, Illinois, North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa. Like, you've got to be one of the surrounding states.
Okay.
And it's dirt cheap. Like, it probably costs $10 to ship
30
this
watts.
from.
Do they just
So
take
half
care
a power factor on speed 4.
They take care of what now?
Do they take care of like picking it up and everything? Or?
They will pick it up, but of course it's got to be packed. They don't do
Okay,
packing.
here's speed 3, which is right in the middle of the 5 speed.
So, you know.
This is your medium right here.
So yeah, they packed it in a box, and I didn't know what I was getting until I unpacked it. I didn't actually unpack it until today. I was gonna bring it here fully packed and let you guys unpack it, but then somebody needed the box, so I gave them the box. I was hoping it was 3. I could tell from the screw pattern it was 3 blades, so I was figuring metal blades.
Yeah.
If it was 3 wood blades, then Alex would be a happy kid, because I'd probably let him have it. He's got a lot of fans I want in trade, and I could care less about the 3 wood blade version.
Oh.
You like the 3 wood blade version, Pete?
Yeah, I find it neat and interesting.
Okay, well,
That's
Pete-
why. It's
so-
just I don't see many.
Okay, well, note to self: if I find the 3 wood bladed version, check with Pete before I offer it to Alex.
This is good medium. Let's see, what did I get for power factor? About 60% there.
But
Speed number 2, just before high.
I was hoping it had a nut. Was the point I was getting at? That's what she
Oh,
said.
You actually, you don't like that it doesn't have a nut?
I would always prefer with nut.
I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like on industrials I prefer no nut.
Right.
It's just so random that there's.
Well, there's that music store with the Unions. They were actually straddle fans. Where's that music store? It was like,
Oh, Baraboo Music.
yeah, that has 2. It's got. They're on Rick.
Would not
Tile.
sell them to me. Owner was a crank.
Yeah, they were 2 Unions, just like what's up there, except with nuts on the bottom.
His mom was really nice though. She was the one that let me test them.
And that's the one. The control is like you go upstairs.
Okay, let's keep it moving.
Okay.
So this is straight high.
Get your drums off the stage, Pete.
Here's.
Were you here for that, Rick?
Oh yeah, I was here for that.
This is high.
Yep. Hold on, it's speeding up.
Oh, I just didn't realize we'd gotten that far. I guess. Wow, that's got. We should have guessed on inrush because we all would have got wrong. That's a giant
we
inrush.
got 0 to high.
Okay, well I can tell you that it's gonna be big inrush, but we'll guess it. We'll figure out how big.
I cheated already.
Oh, you cheated?
But I just didn't say it.
The other thing is that I'm still.
Well, you know, you told me to test it out, make sure the capacitor wasn't bad, and what do you think I'm gonna do?
Cheat. Like a
That's
cheater.
That's probably one of the best choke controls I've ever seen.
Yes.
This whole thing. This is actually one of the best performing new family fans that I've ever tested. Honestly,
Yeah.
other than those laundromat the golden ones. So I guess goldens are better than new, is what it seems like.
Yeah.
Mine's a golden fan. The wood one, yeah. I think that's a golden fan.
I wonder. Okay, we can just spin that. Well, then we gotta tag it.
Okay.
Did we do
Pete sounds
power
right.
factor? I don't remember.
I'm gonna let
No.
Pete attack it again.
Points 3/4.
Yeah,
So I'm doing a workbench video. I'm researching now on all fans from before 1975. I'm doing really 60s and 70s, but particular like 60 to 75.
It says. Okay, this looks more correct.
That's an especially dry era for ceiling fans.
You'd be surprised.
Well, I mean compared to.
Yeah. Well, 78, 79 is when everything exploded.
Okay, so this looks like it's over 300. It's like 980.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I believe it.
Divided by
That sounds
3.
about right. Man, this thing runs beautiful.
It does.
That's a great.
You got any place you want to hang this, Pete?
I was gonna say if you got anything up
I
there.
can't think off the top of my head,
Swap
but
anything in the loft.
I'd have to see. 'Cause
Yeah, it runs so nice. It needs to go somewhere, but we'll, you know.
Let's see how it goes on the solid state. First.
Yeah, that's a good
yeah,
point.
that's a good question.
So, there was a company called LaFleur Fan Company out of Louisiana,
Well, here comes Spin Down, by the way.
and I guess you can take out the control.
Yep.
And
I'll
it
put
was
it in the
owned
deck.
by Justine LaFleur, so it's like a French Cajun,
Huh.
and they started out by selling and refurbishing like oil bath Emersons in the 50s. And then in the 60s, they started importing fans. The first fans that they imported were 56-inch, 7-speed, I think, or 10-speed. Some really high number of speeds for a choke control, but you assume it was a choke control. There's no pictures. And then,
Just the control.
what?
Just the control.
No, there's no. They just ran ads in the paper,
Oh.
but the picture was like a generic line drawing of a fan.
Oh. Okay.
And they had 56-inch and 32-inch that were like 10 speeds and 7 speeds and some stuff like that. Then by the end of the 60s, they were advertising, what's next, Pete? Oh, decade.
Decade,
Yeah.
yes.
By the end of the,
All right, let's see.
I think it's gonna start at 3. Seems like it's pretty freed up.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna give it some.
what are you gonna guess, Pete?
I'm gonna guess 2.
Well, then I'll say 4.
Okay. 1, 2, 3,
No.
4.
Okay, I'm changing mine to 5.
Oh, too late.
No.
5.
Changing mine to 6.
Is it drawing?
Yeah.
6.
Changing mine to 7.
8. 7.
Changing mine to 8.
No.
Is that 7 or 8?
That's 7.
Changing mine to 7.
And that's not. I don't know if I'd say that's a bearing issue.
No, it's just this one is. I mean, it's drawing a lot of current. So yeah, as Pete would call it, it's like 1 amp on
I thought I
high.
heard you say that about.
I
some-
very well may have. I may have started.
when
that.
you were testing fans in your
I thought it was
mom's
the-
basement.
The 2 amp blender fan was the origin of that. I thought.
And you
Very
were
well
work-
could have
I
been.
think you were working on a new fan that was straight blade.
I don't remember that, but it's certainly possible.
Yeah, I remember you were trying to change a capacitor in it.
Okay.
Because I know you have straight blade of this. I do too.
So in any case,
Okay, well now let's see what 8 is.
then by the late '60s they switched to what? Rick or sheep?
That was Rick. I think.
Okay. The sheep are not free. We know that because the gate's open.
Yeah.
If the gate was closed, then yeah, they might try to get in the barn.
It literally sounded like they were.
He's just below us.
Yeah.
Because keep in mind, when they're inside, they're
That's
like
true.
directly below
They're
us.
quite literally, yeah.
They're the downstairs neighbors.
Okay, so that's
Joe
pretty
Sheep.
decent low.
And
That's at 8, 9. Now, one thing I'm predicting, I've done these before, they do go over. I don't know if this one will or not, but I remember.
well, hopefully it doesn't go over until 21, because this seems like a 12-20 candidate.
It does.
Very metal.
Okay, and then here's 10.
Here's another random thought, Pete.
Yeah.
We could always install a kill switch down here for the loft fans.
I already got kill switch.
Well, I'm saying so you don't have to walk up there to do it like you just did. No. No. That's not necessary. I can do it. I can go up the stairs and do it. Okay, where are we at? 10.
Okay, 10.
I really like what you did with the light switch, though. That you brought the other one over, so you don't have
Oh,
to
yeah.
fall behind the stupid.
We'll show all of that when we do all the finishing touches and stuff and do a full barn update tour, which is going to be really exciting. I mean, people are going to have their minds blown. I think there's just going to be mined fragments all over the place, just sweeping up bits of mines, you know.
Yes.
And I think the most impressive thing will be the moved switch. But
Okay, this is 11.
it
then
really did make a world of
here's
difference.
12.
I hated that. I had to like trample over a million things and try.
Well, normally this area would be clear.
Yeah, but you still have to go behind the stupid. And if that door's open, then you can't get to it.
Yeah, no, I agree. That was one of the first things that we talked about doing, I think, and it's
I
long
didn't
overdue.
notice it until today. Pete pointed it out. That's why.
Oh yeah, no, Pete's been doing great work.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, where are we at? 12.
That's 12. See what's it drawn.
0.7.
What did it draw on high?
Around 0.9 something. I
Okay.
can't remember the exact
Here's
digit.
13.
So anyhow, what I was getting at is
14.
LaFleur Fan Company was advertising light adaptable industrial type fans, like metal bladed fans, in the early 70s. And I was trying to think of who made fans that had a nut on the bottom where you could adapt a light in the
16.
in the early 70s. Because Union didn't even start until 73, 74. SMC didn't make their like metal bladed fans light adaptable
Oh,
until
am
like
I over?
late 70s. No. Oh yeah, you are over. I think.
Where are we at now?
Okay, I was at 18.
Let's see here. We'll go hit the high switch and let's see where we're. Because I honestly couldn't remember. Okay. 'Cause it's got a big inrush. So
Yeah, that may be another thing.
yeah.
So I'm at 16. Where's it at?
Now it's at 1.01. So before it was at not 0.9 something. I thought.
Okay.
So
I hit the high.
take it off high. So you're under.
Okay. That's 17.
Under.
18.
Might have just been it. Yeah, that's over.
Okay, so I thought so.
So yeah, unless solid state works well, we'd have to make it control for this fan because no off the shelf control is going to be ideal. Although that choke does great.
I was gonna say, I was
Yeah.
using choke at that
They
point.
didn't really make capacitor-based controls then.
I'm wondering though, because I was trying to think of all the Hong Kong-based companies that it could have been, and I forgot about ViewFan. I'm wondering if ViewFan, because how early were they around?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
I don't either. The earliest I can find is articles of incorporation in '73, but just because a company incorporates in a certain year doesn't mean they weren't around before that year,
Right.
doing shit like kind of on the low, you know, which was common in fan companies back then. There was no UL listings and shit like that. Okay, fingers crossed that this does really well in the solid state.
Okay.
What are we guessing? I already turned off the Rick surprise.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's awfully quiet.
Yeah, you'd know if there was a Rick surprise.
I'm gonna give it and say bedroom quiet.
I'll say living room.
I'm gonna chance it with silent just because I really hope it's not loud.
Yeah.
Because if it's loud, then it's gonna be difficult to add on the upstairs on the console. Still a pig.
I'm like at two.
I know.
o'clock.
It's drawing like half an amp, but it's also like going the appropriate speed. Like it's not like it's.
Wow.
I don't hear.
I don't hear any. I hear something, but I think it's a ballast.
Yeah, probably.
We got an awful lot of ballasted light fixtures in here. I think that belongs on a solid state.
Yeah.
I think they were either meant for a choke or solid
Probably,
state.
yeah, because that's what they had available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why capacitor-based control. You know what? I bet you, because when did you start seeing those little yellow capacitors and even like the black plastic ones? Not till the late 70s, right?
70s, yeah.
They must not have had that technology until, I'll have to look into that, like research the history of capacitors.
It was
That
late.
is
It had to be late
definitely
70s.
silent.
Because it was always those big canister kind of ones.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and something like this would have had that oil-filled type.
You know what's always a silent speed control, no matter what?
What?
A Variac.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
You could be like a Robbie Lawrence church and put a Variac in the wall.
That was just.
Oh,
impressive,
was that?
actually.
Oh, that's something that he discovered.
That was one of the coolest, kludgiest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Hey, if that's in a back closet or something, no one sees.
Well,
it.
I've seen churches and theaters that have closets full of Variacs,
Yeah.
but it's normally for the lights.
Right.
Because that was your only option to dim thousands of watts.
Yeah. No,
And that's what, like, back when everything was incandescent, thousands of watts was your only option.
yeah, you had to use one. But
Um,
no, on a fan it works great too because it doesn't. You're not gonna get all that.
In fact, there's a church I need to take you guys to in Milwaukee called New Hope. Beautiful old Catholic church that was bought by a kind of, I'm trying not to say anything negative about them. It's bought by a black church that's related to both, the founder of that church is related to both Victor Davis and a pastor that I played for in Madison. It's not a church that I would join, but they're very nice people. It's just not a church I would join. But it's got 2 brown gold lines, my Holy Grail gold lines, and a whole bunch of beautiful lighting. And then that's one of the places I've seen closets of and I remember, so the pastor of that church is in his 90s. And, he was, I think I've told stories about him before. He was raised by slaves. He's kind of an old country man, came up this way by way of Mississippi. And I remember when I first saw the closet full of Variacs, I said, what's that? I mean, I knew what a Variac was, but I didn't understand. Like, it seemed so weird to see a closet full of them in a church. He said, that's a dimmer. And now every time I think of dimmers, I laugh. I say, that's a dimmer. And I just laugh to myself.
Okay, well, we should do
Zero and high.
And
Well, we know it's big.
already
Yeah, we know it's big. So and Pete's not allowed to talk. Rick, you put your guess in.
I'm gonna say an actual tenth of an amp, like 0.10.
Okay. $1, Bob.
Okay.
Or Drew. Oh, man. Rick undershot it. Holy shit. Pete, did you know that was going to do that?
I undershot it.
Yeah. It went up. It's a whole quarter of an amp.
Oh.
It went up to 1.25, and it's going to drop down to 1 or like even.
Just shy of.
Nose.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
No wonder it's acting so piggish on the decade and the solid state, because it takes a really big jump to get it started.
Yeah.
So that's purely an electrical thing. That's nothing wrong with the fan.
Design.
Tank of a fan.
Yeah, that's a 48-inch fan too. Imagine what the 56-inch does.
Yeah, I have a 56-inch up there.
Probably not this exact same version though, or it would behave like
it
this.
was curved blade and a nut on the bottom, but
Okay.
it was also
That thing's
sluggish.
a really solid runner. though.
Man, that's a great.
It is.
I'm very pleasantly surprised with that. Okay, so lastly, metal meter.
Definitely Cannibal Corpse.
Okay, so this is up there,
Really? Oh.
approaching the gold lines.
That's really high up. Okay, that's a lot higher
Yeah.
than I thought.
Well, I mean, it's very cool. It's a good performer. It's got some weird qualities about how it runs, but doesn't run bad. Like, I get it. I'm not surprised. What about you, Rick?
I would say very high end of wood grain station wagon. I would like it better with, I think, wood blades, but these are very cool though.
I would like it less with wood blades, more with 4 blades, more with a nut. And if it was 4 blades with a nut, it would be near the top of the Dan meter.
Yeah, and there's actually another store building with 4 curved metal blade ones.
The pools and spas.
That's pretty cool.
Well, or formerly that.
There's 2 of those actually. One has safers too, 4-blade safers.
Yes.
If I had a way to get up there, I'd buy those fans if they sold them. Anyhow, let's please, first of all, patreon.com/dspiffy if you want to see and hear more of this foolishness.
More shenanigans.
And other things, music and other interesting stuff. I've got tons of behind-the-scenes content dating back to when I first opened my YouTube channel, stuff that's never been public. I'm going to embarrass my wife on a few things if I get enough subscribers, because I've got some old videos of her. There's a video where I made her, I was taking Abby sledding, and Nia had never been sledding in her life, and so I made her go down the hill once and took a video. and she'll be. I'll have to sleep on the couch if I post that video. But when I get to a certain number of patrons, I will post it. Not publicly, but in the Patreon. So that's something if you want to result in Dan sleeping on the couch, join Patreon. And that's one way you can support our sponsors. Our other sponsors include Fanstick. You want to make sure it shows Fanstick in the thing. It's even funnier that it's always upside down. Because literally it's always upside down in the video. What'd you say?
I think I wrote it.
It does look like Rick's handwriting. Okay, support Stick. TM is all we see. Fanstick, Light Stick, Taco Burrito Mexico, the Good Manufacturing Company, the makers of 81220 controls. Did I miss anything?
I think it covered it.
What do you and how can the good people support our sponsors?
Bye, Fanstick.
Bye, fans.
Thanks for watching.